Welcome! Hi everyone! In this video, we're going to talk about the first half of part 1, which is called the Introduction to Art History. This video is not going to be that long because all the details are going to be in the Google Doc. You can either look them up or yeah. And then in this video, we're going to just give you a brief introduction in about what is going on for introduction to art history. So if you go into our share drive, you'll find a PowerPoint that looks like this. That is the topic that we're going to discuss first. For the second half of the part 1, which I highlighted in orange, you can find that in a folder that is called Elements of Art. This one. Okay. So let's go to the first PowerPoint. Part 1, Art Fundamentals, and the first half is the Intro to Art History. So in the Intro to Art History, we have three main focuses. The first one is called the Methods and the Inquiries of Art Inquiries, and then the second one is called Brief Overview of the Art in the Western World. And finally, we have brief overview of the non-Western art. So, for the first focus, methods and inquiries of art history, you really want to focus on the natural art history and sources, documents, works of art historians. And then finally is the development of art history, how it develops. So the first one is the nature of art history inquiry. Alright, so when we try to analyze a piece of art, we have two ways of analyze it. So the first one is called formal analysis. Basically, we focus on the visual qualities of the work, of the art itself, and then the elements of art such as colors, lines, shapes, etc. And then the second way of analyzing an art is called contextual analysis. And contextual analysis involves looking outside of the work of the art in order to determine the meaning of it. So we focus on the meaning and the cultural, social, religious, economic context in which the work was produced. So we're focusing on the art history more and like the meaning of the art. And then the second subtopic is called the sources, documents, and the works of art historians. So, when we look at the sources and the documents, we're going to examine the archival sources includes items such as letters between the artist and patron or other documents pertaining to the commission and art criticisms produced at the time the work of art was made. And the third subtopic is called the development of art history, how our art history developed. So the ancient Roman historians Pliny the Elder, key figure, sought to analyze historical and contemporary art in his text Natural History. So Pliny the Elder, Natural History, analyzed historical context. Authors and artists Giorgio Vasari gathered the biographies of great Italian artists in the past and present and the lives of the artists. So GV, the lives of the artists, about Italian artists especially. Then we have Johann Joachim Winckelmann, and then he was a German scholar who shifted away from Vasari's biographical emphasis to a rigorous study of stylistic development as related to the historical context, focused on stylistic development. And so in general, the focus shifts from white men to more international, more multicultural, and more inclusive than in the past, compared to the past. And then And the new ones often the new development tends to focus on Marxist, feminist, and psycho and like on psychology related methods and viewpoints. Alright, so the second the second big topic is called the brief overview of art in the Western world. So, in this big topic, we're going to talk about ancient civilizations, Greek and Roman art, early Christian and medieval art, and Rococo, neoclassicalism, and romanticism. Neoclassicism, and romanticism. Sorry. Alright, so the first one is ancient civilization. Those are the 5 subtopics that you really want to focus on. First is the art of the old stone, middle stone, and new stone. Just remember like the history behind it and different styles and different paintings were created during that time. And second one is the Persian art. Third is ancient Mesopotamian art. Fourth one is ancient Egyptian art and Nubian art. Second subtopic is called Greek and Roman art. In this subtopic, you want to focus on Cycladic, Minoan, and Mycenaean art, ancient Greek art, Egyptian art, and Roman art. So if you really cannot remember those two, ancient Greek art and Roman art will be the most important compared to the other two. Early Christian and medieval art. So this subtopic you want to focus on Byzantine and medieval art, and then Renaissance in Southern Europe and Northern Europe, and Baroque art. So those three are the most important. Renaissance in South Europe, North Europe, and Baroque art. And the next subtopic is called Rococo, neoclassicism, and romanticisms. So in this one, you really want to focus on the court at Versailles. So there's a history behind that. You want to focus on the revolution during the time. Romanticism will be the most important topic, and Baroque aims. So you see this appear again. So I will say in this subtopic, all of them are equally important. Okay, and for the final subtopic of the second big topic, hopefully you understand that, and I know that's kind of wordy, and it's called Briefly Overview of the Art in the Western World. So in this part, you want to focus on the realism and impressionism, post-impressionisms, and other late 19th century development, the emergence of modernism, abstraction, and pop art, minimalism, photorealism, earthworks. We will mention that in the second half of the part 1 too. Installationism and performance. We'll also mention that as well. And then the second big topic is called brief overview. The third big topic is called the brief overview of non-Western art. So we have 4 big categories. You want to know Asian art, Islamic art, African oceanic art, and then the Americans. For ancient art, Chinese, Japanese, Indians, those 3 types of art you really want to focus on, the history behind each of them, and then artworks, like the most famous artworks behind each history of each country. And then we also have for African and oceanic art, you want to focus on African and oceanic, if I pronounce that correctly. I might be wrong. And those are your 2 main focuses. For the Islamic art, you want to focus on oh, I guess this one didn't work out. Okay, I will post a note, and then Islamic art. This is a very short section, and then you can also find that in the outline, and you can just read about it. It's not that long, I promise. And the fourth one, for the Americans, you want to focus on the simple craftsmanship, the influence of the Mayan ruins, and then the studies in clay and stone. And that's all for the first half of the part one, the intro to art history. Thank you all for listening.